how do you fight off the hobby funk? Hey everybody, my name is Ronald Long and I'm glad you're here on this channel. And today we're going to talk about how you get over the hobby funk. And maybe the first thing to recognize is that we all go through creative funks, and that's fine. Let's first just put it out there. Maybe you get overwhelmed when it's time to hobby, or maybe you feel like some type of pressure to finish a project that you started, or maybe you've been working on something so long that you finally burn out over it, or you just find yourself in a hobby rut, or maybe it's just the burning pressures of capitalism that's really got you down. There's a whole bunch of different reasons why you might find yourself in a hobby funk. For me, I've been there before. I totally did not create a YouTube channel in order to avoid writing the last two novels in my fantasy series. It's not me. But recognizing that you're in a hobby funk is a huge step into figuring it out. And the first thing you might want to do is ask, why is this hobby not as much fun anymore? Maybe you dove in way too deep and it was a lot of fun and you bought piles and piles of boxes from Games Workshop or hoarded tons and tons of STLs from OPR, and it's just not as fun as it was in the beginning. Like the sheen wore off to you for some reason. It's okay. Again, it's fine to be in a funk. I just want to help you get out of it. And there are a couple things that you can possibly do. You can attempt a new angle. I know for me, I was in a hobby funk with my Warhammer stuff because I felt like everything was really expensive, and I honestly kind of didn't like the way that Games Workshop was going with Warhammer when it went from you have to buy this general handbook every year to play the game that you bought the rulebook for. And I wanted to play with people, and I didn't really know like who was playing Fantasy Warhammer, so I was going to go to the hobby shops to play, but they were only running tournaments, and so I wanted to make sure that I was in there, but then I was looking at the cost of the books and, well, it just got overwhelming. And for me, the new angle that really kind of helped me get out of that funk was trying one-page rules. Getting into one-page rules and finding out of their Age of Fantasy and Grimdark Future modes of game really inspired me to start playing again and having fun. And maybe that was something that I was missing from playing Warhammer, is that it wasn't quite as fun as it used to be. And so trying a new angle might be what you need. If you enjoy Warhammer but you're feeling a little burnt out about it, maybe trying a new game could be fun. If you're doing Warhammer 40k, maybe try Age of Fantasy or Old World or Bolt Action or any other type of game out there that might be fun but just a little different. And you don't have to spend money to be there either. You could play games that are model agnostic and their rules are free online. In fact, if you play Warhammer, I really suggest checking out one-page rules because you probably already have everything you need to play anyways. And then if that doesn't get it, maybe start hobbying with other people. Like maybe it's not as fun because it's just you doing the thing. So get a group together. We always talk about getting a group together in order to play, but why not invite some friends over in order to hobby? Tell them you're just going to have a painting night and order pizza, and everybody brings over their models and their paints, and you just talk and you paint and you have fun. That could be something that would reinvigorate you and get you out of the hobby funk. And if like inviting people over seems maybe a little intimidating to you, consider my Patreon. This is a thing that I'm starting and trying out, and what we're going to be doing is having a weekly hobby session where we get together and we just hobby together. You ask questions, I answer them, we both hobby while we listen to some cool lo-fi music, and it's just real chill and super fun. And if you want to support a little extra, you can get some scenarios for you and your buddies to play a fantasy scenario and a sci-fi scenario as well. And if that's something that sounds interesting to you, you can head to patreon.com/acceptablyepic and join my Patreon. We can hobby together, and it could be something that might get you out of the funk a little bit just by doing it with other people who you also know are doing a hobby. You'll also get to vote on the things that we do each week, so that'll be pretty fun too. Or maybe another way to get out of your funk is to just give it a break for a bit. That would be fine. Like, it's okay to put things in a box and put it away for a while. I know during COVID, I thought that was going to be a great opportunity for me to play my little wargaming dudes against each other and paint, or even to get that stuff out and play that way. But honestly, it was a really tough time for me, and the only hobby that I could really do in that moment was playing video games. So I went back to some video games, and I gave the wargaming thing a break for a while, and that was fine. I still had all that stuff. It was actually in this closet right here behind me that just sat up there for a while until I was ready to bust it back out again. And it's fine to acknowledge that you just need a break for a little bit. Maybe time your break. Say, I'm not going to touch it for a month. I'm going to let it sit, or 2, or 3, or maybe just figuring out what might work best for you. Or go back to your roots. If you really enjoyed playing Warhammer 40k, but then you got off into Kill Team and you've been doing Kill Team a whole bunch, well, okay, maybe it's time to take that type of mode of play out and go back to what you started playing in the first place. Or maybe you've added so many different homebrew rules to your game that it feels like it's a little much. Bring it down, right? Go back to just the very basic rules, or even go back an edition or two and play one that you thought was more fun. Or if you need, try a new thing. Maybe that's playing Bolt Action. Maybe that's playing Battle Mech. Maybe that's going and just finding a new game that you can play that's a board game. It's not even a war game anymore. But if you need something new to play, I really suggest checking out One Page Rules. Super easy, a ton of fun. I have really enjoyed it, and it's been a thing that's helped me get back into wargaming. It's okay to acknowledge that you're in a hobby funk, and maybe you've been playing too much, or painting too much, or too much, and so now you just need a break. It's okay to acknowledge that. Let your friends know, hey, I want to do something different. I might even go crazy and play like a trading card game instead. Whatever it is, acknowledge the fact that you're in a hobby funk and then work on getting out of it. And it's also okay if you need to quit. There's nothing wrong with that. You can grow. You can change. Something can used to have been a lot of fun, and you just decide it's not fun anymore, and you do something different. That's okay. If you needed to hear permission from somebody today for that, I gave you permission. It's okay to quit. You can go do something else that's more fun. And if nothing else, go take a walk outside. Man, it's so much greater out there in nature sometimes. You just get to walk and smell and experience life and have some sunshine on you. Yeah, if you're having a bad day, a walk outside normally is a good way to just get out and try. Hey, I'd love to hear your hobby funk techniques. Have you ever been in a hobby funk before? What did you do to get out of it? Tell me down in the comments. We're still a small channel, can definitely respond to you, and we can have a conversation. It could be a lot of fun. Leave me a comment down below. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't yet, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me and help more people get to know me, this channel, and what we're doing here. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you're in a hobby funk, I'm sorry, but also, we can get through this together. You and me, you and your community. We got this. I know you do. I hope you're having a good week, and I hope to see you next week as well. Have a good one.